So if you clicked on this video, you probably have issues with your 14T baler slip clutch, as I have as well. These things are a pain in the ass, especially when they start to break, I'm not going to lie to you. Anyways, mine kept breaking up in this ratcheting mechanism. Up in here where this clicks around and ratchets. My keyway in here that sat about right here kept shearing itself. It's just all messed up. It wasn't a straight keyway for that square keyway in there anymore. Doesn't matter. I came up with a better design because I'm smarter than the engineers back in the day. We just weld that sucker straight in place. That should hold. So what we're going to do is reassemble it. As you can see, I got it completely. This is a shaft. The yoke will go on this part to go up the drive line to the tractor. So what we're going to do is put this all back together. And I'm going to kind of show you because I didn't take it apart and record it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back together. So if anybody's wondering how to take it apart, just watch the video in reverse basically. And you've got yourself how to take that sucker apart. So first we got our backing plate because I need to reassemble my drive shaft here. Our backing plate needs to go on first. On this side of the spline, we're going to shove it through as so. It's going to sit just like that. We're actually going to put one of these single washers back on here and then put the backing plate on just like so. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Next we're going to put actually it goes like this. You got your 3 washers here. It goes on next. Then our bearing here sits on just like that. Then you got our mounting plate that'll mount to it that the bearing sits in. It's going to sit in nice and flush just like that. Sit on just like that. You got this bottom. The PTO is still going this way. The tractor's hooked up this way. This is the backing plate of the slip clutch, alright? Right now we're just going to leave it like that because I don't want to put the PTO shaft on yet. I want to reassemble kind of the rest of this before I continue any further. So we're actually going to take this off just for now. We're going to flip it, 360 it. You got your shaft kind of going like this. I'm going to get some boards to lift this up. Just get some 2x6s. Lift up our backing plate just like that. Now from here, you can sit on your ratcheting mechanism. I would suggest putting some grease in these, as I'm going to do that right now. Just a little bit of grease. Hook up in here so these can ratchet smoothly, not grind away. This is the ratcheting part. That's going to lock in place. Grab the PTO and spin it. As you can see, it's spinning down there. So we'll grab some grease, put it in there. Got myself a little bit of grease. We're just going to put a little bit every so often. That way when this goes around, it just has a little bit of grease, a little bit of lubrication. Doesn't bind up a lit at all. Just kind of keeps ratcheting as a normal unit. From here, we're going to set this bad boy on. And hopefully I welded this on correctly. I only checked 14 times. But like I say, I've welded a lot of PTOs tight like this that there is no keyway in there anymore. It's literally just welded, just straight up welded on. And what I can tell you is a weld holds a lot better than a damn keyway. Just make sure you're running your equipment smart. Don't be clogging up your machines and stuff, or else you're going to end up with bigger problems than just this keyway shearing again. So just run your equipment smart, Mine, I could not fix it, and you can't buy new parts because my keyway inside of this, the ratcheting mechanism, was all bent and it just kept shearing them, so I couldn't fix it at all. Next, what we're going to do, this is actually the clutch mechanism. You're going to set this right on the spline. Pick you up. This is what you're kind of looking like. You're going to set this straight on the spline. But first, this is this thing that is going to ratchet. This is going to move in here. You're going to want to put a little grease up in here. Kind of keep this from seizing up in the future or over the winter or whatnot. Just a little bit of grease. Keep them all happy, all right? You don't want to do anything dry around here. Set that right on in. It should fall right in there. There we go. You're almost done putting the slip clutch together. This is a pretty cool mechanism back in the day. Why there's a ratcheting mechanism in this slip clutch inside of here is because your older tractors had a running PTO, so a lot of times the PTO would stop, but the implement was still moving, so it needs to ratchet backwards to keep you going. So yeah, but anyways, you want the slip clutch, so in case your machinery got bounded up, this clutch would drag in here, preventing this slip clutch from moving. As you see, it's just dragging in here, but not moving the PTO or the PTO down there. Basically why it's there. Next, what we're going to do is now assemble the top plate of the slip clutch. This is the top. This is kind of the plate that the slip clutch will grab onto. We're just going to gently set it on there. Next, you got your springs. There's a ton of them. You're just going to line them up, put them in. I don't really know where my holes are. They're probably way off because that's just how stuff goes around here. Come on, buddy. Oh, I think we got one started here. Alright, we got them all tightened down. You can kind of see the spring length I left them at. We're probably going to leave them at about there. I don't want to go too tight on them. So, now our clutch should be tight in there. Basically what we're going to do is now we're going to line up these holes straight. You can see there's holes through them. We're going to tie two of them together, that way they don't come loose. Kind of an older tactic that they used to use. So I'm going to spin these just a little bit. So you can get yourself some wire, pretty thin stuff. You're going to feed it through the one bolt, if this is how your designs are. Mine's just designed like this. You're going to feed it through the two, come back through. You're going to just tie it off. The needle nose, getting kind of tight. Snip off any extra. Just like that. These are tied together. These aren't going to come loose. We're going to do that with all of them all the way around. Bob's your teapot. So I got them all tied up. As you can see, it looks nice and pretty. So what you want to make sure you do is you go around the outside of these bolts every time around. That way when the bolt tries to turn, it grips it more. They go outwards, it needs to go counter. It's going to pull on that tighter, counter, tighter. This one's tinkly. It would pull tighter on this edge as it pulls that way, pulling tighter on this wire. So you always want to go on the outsides. Now we're going to take this clutch, the slip clutch, set it on the floor and assemble it to our drive shaft. This drive shaft leads up into the tractor sitting outside of here. You can see the PTO right here, and that PTO spins up into the tractor. So what we're going to do now is just get this assembled back together. That way we can set it back on. Set the slip clutch on the floor. You not want to forget your bearings and your washers here. Go this way. Bearings go on first. Washers go on first. Then you want to put your bearing on. We're going to put a little grease inside here. Keep everything nice and lubricated. Then we're going to grease this after. You can see a grease circ on there. I'm going to slip this on. Nice and prim, nice and perfect. A little grease on the spline so it slips in nicer. Grab myself a rag. Now you want to make sure if you're equipped with one of these, which I'll miss you. If you're equipped with one of these, you want to make sure that this piece goes out towards the tractor. So it's going to slip on just like this on the slip clutch. Go like that. So when it mounts up, point's pointing back. Now what you're going to do is just slip on your PTO shaft. Make sure the holes align. You want to make sure your pinhole lines so it matches up with this one so the sucker doesn't come flying loose at you and hit you in the head going Mach 90. So that's always a thing you want to watch out for. Now I got to find where I set my pin for this. We got our pin right here. I'll take you down here real quick before we knock this in all the way. Kind of show you what's going on. So you're going to want to knock your pin, keep this PTO from spinning out, and then, Missy, what are you doing, man? What's up, buddy? Back up. Alright, we're going to give this pin a knock in. Now to get those pins out later, if you want to take your shaft off like I did and put the backing plate on, because once you weld that, you're not able to take off the ratchet mechanism. So you literally need to remove the backing plate and the PTO, so it comes off in 2 separate pieces, and that spline is it's welded. It's one piece now. So I was pretty lucky, and that came out really easy. But I would do is just line up a punch it from the back, and it should pop right out if it's not really that seized. If it is seized, go grab your torch, man, because you're in for a pretty good treat to this afternoon if it's seized for you. But now we're gonna take this, slide it onto the tractor, pretty much bolt it all up. And Bob's your teapot. We're good to go. Now to get it removed, there's a bracket right here you need to take out. Mine was pretty rusted in. I ended up cutting off 3 of them. But this piece needs to move all the way. That way you can get your slip clutch back enough to pull it straight out. But anyways, I'm going to show you that right now how I got that done. So now for me, I went out and bought a pin for this. Back up, Missy. Really, buddy? Buddy, you need to get out of here. A pin for this PTO so she wouldn't wobble loose anymore. Just going to slip right through here and lock this sucker right down. Down in place. Actually, I need to go one size smaller. That's a tomorrow activity. We're going to line up this PTO. We're going to put it in the ear, the spline, and put the slip clutch right up on there. Now, you don't want to get your fingers pinching that PTO because that happened to me a couple times. Ready. I would suggest getting a partner, or you can just be a man and do it yourself. Just like that, a little bit of luck, and a lot of muscle, and the unwillingness to ask anybody for help. You have officially installed your slip clutch back into the baler. Congratulations. Now we gotta line up this bracket again. Just put everything back together, kinda. Almost. Bracket's gonna sit just like that. Now we're going to reinstall the middle bracket right here, bolt everything down, and if we did everything correctly, which obviously we did because I am who I am, this thing should work. So I'm going to bring out the bracket, I'm going to line that sucker up, I'm going to bolt that sucker down. Now for your bracket, I don't know if you can see me off to the side here, got the bracket right here, she's just going to slip straight up into here. You got to go from the back side no matter what though. Just kind of how the Baler was blessed. Slip it in here, but then convincing. She's just gonna slide right in there, and now I'm gonna strap them down with some bolts, go straight through. I'll catch the video back up when she's all done and said, and she's put in. But basically, just gonna bolt down the sides, bolt that in, and then we're gonna get to the mounting bearing here, and this is just gonna mount straight to the plate. Kind of keep this PTO steady and straight. You want that steady and straight going in there. Make sure that's in there, or else you're going to mess up your gearboxes up in here. Because this PTO is going to want to pivot, and it's going to want to pivot right there, but you want a strong base right there to hold it, and that slip clutch in place, so she's not wobbling around up in here, or else you're going to have some major issues, more than just that slip clutch going out. So we'll get that bolted up. Now for this mounting plate, because it's kind of free floating, you'll see holes on that side. As you pulled forward a little bit, hole right there. Now with this plate, you can see it's got a little bit of a jar right there. So what engineers have came up with over the years are these little plates to kind of make up that little bit of a 1/4 inch difference up in there. So what we're going to do is install these back in there. Basically, the spline is just off just a little bit when you're going in straight here. So to make up for that difference, we got to put those plates back in. So we're going to put those plates back in. Kind of a trickier process. What I like to do is I like to point them straight up so I got a good grip on them yet. Put them in, stick one bolt through, that way they're not going anywhere. And then it's still not easy, that's for sure. Stick them through just like that. You can let them just chill there now because they ain't going nowhere. Bolt's holding them. Install the bolt on the other side with the nut in the washer. And basically just slide them down. They're going to be a little bit tighter than what you started out as. Just find the other bolt. Down. Torque spec on those are a couple Ugga Duggas. So we're all good to go. That's all in there. That's all in there. Hopefully that grabs. Might have to go a little bit tighter on those springs, which is not a big deal. Anyways, we're gonna start her up. See what happens. And with any amount of luck, she's spinning. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to tune in next week, I'm going to show you how to fix that. We're missing one of them. And I'm also going to show you how to unbend one of them after you try to send it to the baler. And the reason why we're missing one is because it kind of got sent to the baler a little bit. So next week I'm going to show you how to get this kind of unbent. We're going to try our best to fix it. And then we're going to mount this sucker back up. But as you can see, bottom mounting brackets missing. So that's not good. But we're going to get it done. We're going to get it fixed because that's what we do around here. But anyways, got the baler pulled out of the way. Basically, thank you guys for watching. The stuff keeps breaking. We're going to keep fixing it. If you guys got any suggestions for the future, just let me know. Comment down below what you want to see. I think I fix a lot of stuff and I don't record it. And I feel that it's very necessity that I start doing it because no one else is. And you look up videos all across the internet and no one else is fixing them, you know. And it's hard when you're trying to fix something, and it's irritating when you're trying to fix something and you got to do it all by yourself. And that's just how I've learned over the years to fix some of this stuff if anybody asks. It's just, you just got to do it. Unbolt it, figure out how it works, figure out how to fix it better, put it back together. I guarantee that ain't going to break. You know. There's the only thing I could have done about it, that cube was in there was sheared and it messed it all up in there. So I just welded it straight. There's no other parts. You can't just run down to your dealership and buy new parts anymore. It's just what you got to do if you want to keep running this old stuff. So we're going to get this fixed. But see you guys in the next video.